So here we are back. It's the next day after we got everything fully disassembled yesterday. We showed you guys, what's kind of going on with the heads, and we're gonna get these off to the machine shop here probably early next week. Get moving on these, but just briefly a little trick of the trade. I wanted to just see if any of these valves are leaking. Obviously, we can see that the ones that are bent visually, but there's a couple that shows that we have some witness marks there, but they look pretty good. These ones are definitely bent, and these ones are bent. So I'm just going to pour some water down in the cylinder, the ports of the cylinder head, and if we get any water seeping out around the valve face in the seat, then we know, hey, they're not sealing properly, and we need to do a valve job over there as well. So see if I can. This thing sucks at pouring, by the way.
You're welcome.
So as you can see, this valve is seeping pretty good. So should probably get something to
mark it.
Here, I'll just grab a little thing because they're not clean. So that one's good. I'll check these. I did that. I spilled it. So these two look fine.
Yeah, these ones are pretty clearly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those ones are not good. So I mean, at this point, I know these ones are messed up. These ones don't look too happy. We'll probably have to do all valves and all seats, just to, it's not worth oh, hey, let's not grind this one, or resurface it. Let's not do this one and this one. I mean, we're doing these 3/4 of this head, and we're doing 3/4 of this head. You might as well just do a full valve and seat job and, call it a day. So we'll be popping these out here real quick. We'll just assemble these heads, get them ready to go off to the machine shop. We'll get new valves for them, and these things will be super good. We'll have the deck straight edge and checked and see if we need a resurface or not. And usually anytime I pull the heads off, I will resurface them. So we'll probably resurface those as well. So now I'm just going to remove the keepers out of the top of that hold the valve springs onto the valve. And a quick, easy way to do it is just get yourself a socket that's big enough, a hammer, and you just whack it down, and it'll pop these little keepers out. You could use a proper tool and slowly do it or whatever, but this doesn't hurt anything, and it's super quick. So there you go. See how they're popping out, and then that's what they are. And there's these little metal keepers, what they call them, valve locks, and there's 2 on each valve, and that's what holds this whole assembly together. There you go. Now you just collect everything, count it and bag it, clean it, and reassemble.
Got the safety glasses. I'm wearing glasses, so that counts, right?
So what I'm doing is I'm looking for cracks around the spark plug holes, because Subarus, especially the 2-liter heads, are notorious for cracking, but they'll have a thin line crack or hairline crack from a spark plug hole. It'll run underneath, this is a steel seat, and into the ports. And as these heads get hot, that crack opens up, and then it allows combustion to leak past the valves, and that causes lower compression, all kinds of stuff, and you don't want that. So these look good. I'm happy with these right now. So we'll take apart this head next, and do the same thing, check it, bag it, tag it, and get them ready to ship off to the machine shop. So here we are, back from the machine shop. Let's see how these puppies look. Look at that, brand spanking new. So we had these heads hot tanked. We had the valve and seats redone, and we also had it resurfaced. So we got a brand new box of all brand new valves, like we said. So everything's going to be replaced and brand new on this guy. Everything's going to be, look how nice that goes. Also, they found out that the guides, and the guides, if you don't know what they are, you want to take a look at this, Noah. That's those little, well, you can't really see from that angle, but right here, those little things down there. It's what the valve stem rides in and keeps the valve straight. And what happens is sometimes they wear out from the valve going up and down, and if they get too much wear in it, then it will actually cause an issue with the valve.
They wear out from what? Can you show me again?
Sealing. The valve moves up and down.
Show us again?
In this.
Just like that?
So anyways, just caught on what you were doing there. So anyways, those were replaced in every single head. So this is as brand new as you can get.
It looks freaking nice.
I wish the short block could look this good. We're going to try our best. We got some, heavy duty cleaning material, chemicals that we're going to use on that short block that you've seen how nasty it was in the last video. But in the rest of this video, we're going to get these guys back assembled. We got clearance out the lifter buckets. Then we got to, probably get new lifter buckets. And then once these are assembled, we're ready to go back on the block. So we got some parts rolling in. As you've seen, we got those cylinder heads back. We're going to get those assembled. And we got another Gates timing belt kit. The other one, Amazon tried to scam us, but actually somebody tried to scam Amazon. As you seen, when we opened up, there was grease marks all over it. The stuff in the box was just jingling all over, denting itself up, and it was actually missing one of the idler pulleys. So here we are. Here's another new one. As you see, look at that. It's actually got wrapping on it. This one has yet to be opened. So if not going to OEM, Gates is the best stuff to go with. Almost everybody does it. They make a Gates Racing. I'm sure people seen the fancy blue timing belts that are supposed to be a bit better, but this is just OEM plus rebuild. We don't need to spend the extra, 50, 80 bucks on a fancy blue timing belt. This will be fine above OEM quality. We got some ARP head studs. As you know, we talked about, we're not putting factory head bolts in. We're actually going to convert it to a stud nut and washer. So a little bit more expensive than OEM, but this is quality, and this is going to ensure that the head gaskets and this car stays together and running for a long time. Because keep in mind, we're selling this and we want the next person to be able to enjoy it and have some safety and not have to worry about doing this all over again.
Safe and reliable.
So we're doing it a little bit extra money, but that's fine. We're doing it right. We do stuff right here. Miscellaneous gasket, one of those, as you've seen with the glove box, this was missing, so we got one of these. We got another one coming from another place, and we have a bunch of OEM parts coming still. So we have a complete gasket kit. We have the various caps and stuff, all this red crap. We're getting rid of all that. We're getting this back together, super nice, and we can't wait. So over here, we updated our little total. So we seen that orange was not really showing up well on camera, and our lights were kind of blinding out. So we're going to try to keep these off when we're shooting from this angle. But anyways, we updated the list here. We got a total of 3721 in it. We got a couple more parts to add, like I said, those OEM gasket kits and various caps and stuff. And we still got to do the rear, get the rear e-brake working and some interior stuff. So we're guesstimating budgeting will probably be 4,500 bucks into this said and done, right around that number, which is fine. We haven't decided on a sale number yet, but we're probably going to have around that, and I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to stay off from doing the body work, because by the time you put fenders, trunk in, all the body paint and work, I mean, we're going to be at the top of what a pristine, perfect one of these is going for with this miles, and I just don't think it's worth it. I think somebody will enjoy it and appreciate the work that we did with it and take it off our hands for a little bit above what we have into it, and we can get started on the next project. So can't wait to show that to you all, but we have something in the works. So so let's dive in and let's get these heads assembled. All right, so here we are, finally getting these cylinder heads ready to go back together. As you've seen, everything's resurfaced, remachined, good to go. So first things first is we have to install these guys. These are what we call valve stem seals. Basically a seal that go on top of the valve guide, and this prevents oil from leaking down from the valve stem right here You know, it goes in like this. I don't even say it. And it scrapes oil from going into the cylinder and smoking pretty much. So sometimes if the seal starts to leak, then your vehicle will start to smoke, so, and burn oil, as what they call it. So you definitely want to replace these whenever you do new cylinder heads or repair them or whatever. So yeah, so they make tools for these that fit over, because there's various sizes based on different heads. You can buy like the tool service kit, but a little trick of the trade is you can just actually find a socket that fits perfectly around it and on top of the seal. Obviously you don't want to mess up this spring or this top part, because then it won't hold the oil from leaking down on the cylinder. So you just find that, you just place it right on top of the guide, and you just use a good old hammer. It kind of comes with a feel, you know, you just pop it on until you get like that stud, and then you're good to go, and that's what it should look like. So, you know, obviously you want to inspect, make sure you didn't mess up the rubber, or Viton. Usually you don't. So we just do this across the board, and then we'll move on to the next part. Just see if everything works. And as you can see, maybe there's a small red line right there. That's where the seat is hitting the valve face, and then you might be able to see there's a little bit of less red in that circle all the way there. So a lot of people, I mean, that's a small trick. You can just use a marker, but a lot of people will get like lapping compound, where they put the little gritty like sand mixture in there. You get the tool and you lap it like this. So, you know, it's not necessary. I mean, if we weren't resurfacing the valve faces in the seats, and I was just doing a rebuild and they were still sealed, I would lap the valves. But with it all cut like this, it's solid. There's no need to do it. So everything looks really good, and once we get assembled, I can do another water leak down test. But the equipment that they use to machine these, they actually put a vacuum block on the ports with the valves in, and then if it holds a vacuum, then that signifies no leak. So everything should be perfect. Alright, so next part, we got to get the cylinder heads assembled with the valves, the valve springs, the keepers, and the valve locks. So basically what you do is you insert your valve into the matching port that you have. Put it in. You need to put a lower retainer. Put the valve spring. Put the top retainer. And the next thing is you need to compress this valve spring down to reach down. See these grooves on the valve? We have these little valve keepers.
You can see on one side it's kind of tapered down where it fits around that piece there. See it closer for you guys. So there's two of these that go on each one, and Alan has a custom tool his dad made.
Yeah, well, made some of it, but anyways, you can buy fancy tools. Like I said, you know, if you're a shop, you probably got fancy tools, but you just buy a C-clamp from, you know, I think we got this Harbor Freight, and then pretty much my dad just machined a piece of steel with some windows in it, so I can reach my fingers in there. If you don't have machining capabilities, you could even buy a socket and cut a window into a socket. Works well, but this works well. And you can buy headstands to put these up to do this on. I didn't buy the headstands, you know, for this head job, so whatever. But then what you want to do is just put some rags on the bottom of the surface, because you don't want to gouge this up at all. And then you put the C-clamp like that. Go over top there. Bear with me quickly. And just slowly start tightening the C-clamp. You get it down there. It's all about there, so you can see the groove.
So can't see past your hand.
No. So you should be able to see the groove a little bit on that valve stem. And that's going to allow us to put those little locks in and lock it in. So another trick is you could actually get, you can just use a screwdriver to put these in, or your fingers and a little pick. Another trick is you can get a screwdriver and like some grease, and dab the screwdriver end in grease and then stick this to it and put them in that way, but I've been doing this a long time, so I just try to pop it in with my finger first. You get it to dip down in there. So now that first one's pretty much locked in there. Now I'm going to go around and work on this front one. Get it dropped down there. There we are, we're dropped. Then you slowly decompress the spring, loosen the clamp. Get this all the way, and there you are.
Voila.
So there's a installed valve spring ready to go. So yeah, sit back, relax, and get ready for this tedious process because it's not very fun. Nah, never mind. We'll get it done now. And there you go. Bam. So cylinder head's ready to go.
All right, so one last thing here. We're gonna do the that water test we showed you guys again.
Yeah, where we pull it down just to, you know, so you can visually see, you know, that it should be sealed and no water should be coming out the port. So as you can see, this port is completely full and we have no seepage around the valves, which signifies the machine shop did their job properly. So these heads are perfectly ready to go, and yeah, let's get back to it and we'll see you in the next video.